Hello and welcome to this short video prepared by Academic Skills, and today we're going to look at how to cite an in-text reference paraphrased using Harvard referencing style. Now there are two ways to reference a paraphrase in text using Harvard, and these two ways are author focused and the second is information focused, and we're going to have a look at both of these. Now, when we want to reference in an author-focused way, the author's name or names, if there is more than one author, appear outside of the brackets. Okay? Now, when using this type of citation, it usually happens at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. And we use this style if we want to draw attention to the author of the work we are referencing. So let's have a look at some examples of how this would look. So, first of all, we have the original text written by Smith. There's our author. And the original text states, students often find referencing in the main text of their work a little difficult to understand and do correctly. So those are the author's words, and we want to use that idea by paraphrasing it into our own words and then referencing the author. So here are three examples of how this might look using author-focused style. In number one, Smith, and then in brackets 2012, argued that in-text citations could be a little confusing. So I have author, year, reporting verb, and then my paraphrase of the original idea. In the second instance, you can see that the author has moved a little further into the middle of the sentence. According to Smith, 2012, and then a comma after that, in-text citations could be a little confusing. So now I have the reporting verb, I have the author Smith, the year, and then my paraphrase of the idea. And finally, in this last example, we can see that the author has moved into the middle of the sentence. In-text citations can be quite confusing, as Smith, 2012, pointed out in a recent study. So here I have the paraphrase first, and then the author, and then the reporting verb. Now, if I want to change the style and use information-focused referencing, the author's name is inside the brackets this time. Okay? Now, when we're using this type of citation, it most frequently occurs in the middle or at the end of the sentence. And unlike author-focused referencing, we use this if we want to draw attention to the actual information itself. So let's have a look at how examples of this might look. Again, we have an original piece of text that we want to use, and we have the author. So the text states that students often find referencing in the main text of their work a little difficult to understand and do correctly. Okay? So, in the first example, you can see that the author appears right at the end of the sentence there. It has been argued that in-text citations could be a little bit confusing, or a little confusing. So you can see the paraphrase is there, and then within the brackets we have the author Smith and the year it was written, 2012. It's important to note at this stage there is no comma between the author and the year. This is an important feature of Harvard style referencing and something not to make a mess of. Okay? In my second example, the reference is in the middle of the sentence. I have my paraphrase first. In-text citations can be a little confusing. Smith, 2012, both of them in the brackets, no comma. And this poses a major challenge for students. So there I have added my own idea to the reference. So when we're looking at these ways of referencing, remember that both author-focused or information-focused, each is a suitable way to reference. One is not better than the other. They are both tools to use. Importantly, when we're thinking about paraphrasing, we have to remember that we want to keep the original meaning of the idea we're using, but we do have to put it into our own words and reference the author to avoid plagiarism. And the other thing we can use both of these methods to achieve is we can achieve variety. If we only use information-focused referencing, for example, our writing might start to look a bit repetitive. So if you can mix it up with some author-focused and some information-focused, this will add variety to your referencing. Okay. So anyway, that brings us to the end of this video. We hope this has been helpful to you, and best of luck with all your referencing.